Hello and welcome back to another video on the WrestleMania Anton edition of Smackdown Out of 10. And the build up for the Elimination Chamber continued this week with two more qualifying matches. Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman and Damian Priest battled for a spot in the men's matches, while Chelsea Green and Naomi fought for a spot in the women's matches. But Smackdown this week opened with Wade Barrett explaining Jay Tessitore is not there this week before Vic Joseph was introduced as we threw to a video recap of last week's show. Cody Rhodes came out to the ring to kick things off in the arena. The American Nightmare went through some of his options for WrestleMania to get the crowd's reaction. He then started to talk about Sarah's curve, but didn't get to say much before Drew interrupted. Jacob Fatu came out and said he plans to bring the title back to his family where it belongs. They saw Sikoa arrive backstage on the big screen and Fatu looked upset. He told Rhodes that he'd get the first word with Solo, but Rhodes said he would get the last. This was a decent opening segment that opened up several angles. Nobody threw any punches, but sometimes that is for the best. So I'd say on the whole a pretty decent start. Barrett then introduced Trish Stratus in the crowd, setting something up for later before we saw Naomi and Green competing in the Chamber qualifying matches. Naomi's got a few counts to ace away, but she couldn't keep the champ down for the pin. She maintained control of him for a few minutes before a slight distraction from Piper allowed Green to take over. Naomi didn't make a comeback until we returned. Bianca Belair cheered her on, while Niven and Green's support. The Queen of Glow began to build up ahead of steam as she hit a series of quick moves. Green hit a Rough Rider, but it didn't get her the pin. Naomi was able to rally and score the pin to advance to the chamber. These two have had several opportunities to work together, but seem to get a little better each time. They have good chemistry and they know what each person's capable of. So yeah, they did a lot of good work here, and I thought made each other look pretty good. 6 out of 10. Before we got Los Garzas and Motor City Machine Guns competing in a tag match. As expected, it's fast paced from the moment the bell rang. They went for a break about a minute, and we returned to see them back in the driver's seat after Los Garzas got off to a good start. Both teams had some impressive double team spots to highlight the match, even though Angel and Berto looked good. Sabin and Shelley were too much for this one, scoring a win on a solid match. But yeah, to be honest, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I just felt there's a lack of focus in this really compared to where these teams should be competing at the peak of the tag division. Just didn't feel like it had a lot on it. But anyway, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga were shown finding Sikoa backstage. He said he needed time off because he let his family down. He said he led Jacob, but it didn't make him care. He and Tonga walked away from Solo without a word. So yeah, the tension is definitely growing. You can feel something boiling there. Before Nakamura was out for a promo, but he was interrupted by LA Knight and was soon followed by The Miz, who trashed Knight and said he isn't worthy of a shot at the US title. They talked for some time before this finally turned into a match against Nick Aldis. Nakamura was just standing at ringside the whole time watching them argue. It felt like the talking part of this went way longer than it needed to. Once we returned from a break, the bout was already in progress. Nakamura watched as both men took turns controlling the pace. This was down the middle. They did some good work, but it never felt like they left second gear until after mid-match break. The crowd came alive when Knight finally hit the BFT, followed by an elbow drop for the pin and the win. He and Nakamura had a stare down at the England segment, so this will clearly enter into the feud over the title once again. So yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give it, 6 out of 10. I thought, it makes sense where it's going to go. Knight Nakamura rematch probably makes sense as a one-off match, and then maybe Knight can move on to something else, and yeah, Nakamura can take the title in a new direction. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Next up on Smackdown, R-Truth got on Carmelo Hayes' bad side backstage last week, and it led them to having this match on this week's show. Truth countered the hip toss to get the match going, but Melo nailed him with a springboard clothesline to take him down. Truth used a couple of Cena trademark moves before Hayes fed a super kick. A few minutes later, a leg drop from the top right scored Melo a quick win. This was fine for what it was, but it wasn't much of anything. Truth can still go in the ring, so it would be nice to see them go a few more minutes. But yeah, it just didn't really feel like much was going on here, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. The next matchup saw Tiffany defend the women's title against the women. She won it from Nia Jax. As usual, Candice was with Jax. Jax immediately scooped the champ up and drove her to the corner. Stratton used her speed to avoid her for a bit, but Jax eventually caught her with a headbutt for a 2. This match lasted for a break into the next segment and saw Jax control the action for an extended period. This was booked to make the champion look like a huge underdog and worked for the most part. While they had a handful of good spots, there were also moments when they clearly on different pages. The 3 sloppy moments really stuck out and hurt the flow of the match, which is unfortunate because a lot of what they did looked great. Stratton turned up the heat after the break and hit a moonsault, followed by a swanton bomb for a 2. Lorraine interfered to cause a DQ, but Jackson seemed too upset. She continued to attack the champion until Trish got involved to make it safe. Jax was able to take out both women officials before she made her leave. Charlotte Flair then called out Tiffy while she was still recovering and delivered the announcement she would face Stratton at WrestleMania. Pleased we got that announcement. It felt like a long time coming in. Pleased it's finally happened. Definitely the right outcome, and hopefully it leads to a Stratton win. But I face Stratton against the heel Charlotte I'm very intrigued by. I think it leads this match open to another match down the line as well. Lorraine as well interfering as well. it's going to set up something interesting between Jax, Lorraine as well. So I think the intriguing storylines coming out of this. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. We then got Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman and Damian Priest battling out in a triple threat match for a spot in the inside the Elimination Chamber. Fatu and Priest sent Strowman out of the ring early on, and so they could exchange strikes. The amateur room for me looked like he had the upper hand until Fatu no-sold hits and took him down. When we returned from the break, all 3 men are involved in the action, but it felt like Strowman kept being the odd man out until the last 5 minutes. The Monster Among Men began to go on a rampage, but Fatu and Priest kept going and each other in a clear attempt to set up a singles feud that may lead to a WrestleMania match. Strowman showed up to help Fatu, but Rhodes ran in down to fight him. Tonga joined Sakawa and Rhodes to be able to get the better of him. All Fatu saw was Solo hitting Tonga and assuming it was intentional, so all hell broke loose. Priest came out on top and earned his spot in the chamber match amidst the chaos. Rhodes and Priest had a brief moment but shook hands. An entertaining main event with lots of action, but a level of outside seemed excess. It was a bit much, but had some intriguing storylines in there, and for me, probably the right result as well. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Overall, SmackDown this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. Various storylines saw development in this one, including, of course, Charlotte Flair facing Stratton at WrestleMania being confirmed. Naomi and Green put in a decent performance. Some other decent matches on there as well, including the main event. And there were some short matches on there, but I thought on the whole, it was a pretty decent and enjoyable
Hey guys,
show.
that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.